1, 2, 1, 2. Oh. What am I doing right now? Check it out. Let me turn this down a smidge. What you are listening to at this point is Aphrodisia, and it's Dr. Lonnie Smith and Joe Lovano. What's happening, kids? It's your girl Fathom DJ, live and direct via Spreaker. Good morning. Good morning, loves. So, of course, it's Wednesday, and we should be having session. Unfortunately, I have a opportunity, and I am preparing for that opportunity, and I wanted to come in and chat you about it. So this evening, well, part of the reason why I'm playing Lonnie Smith outside of the fact that he's dope, he is dope, is the fact that this particular tune was sampled by A Tribe Called Quest. Tonight, we meaning a band called The Kickback, and I'm not a member yet, but I'm pronouncing and announcing and projecting the fact that I will become a member of this band called The Kickback, and we are scheduled to fuse Tribe Called Quest tunes with their original samples of those tunes in a live instrumentation type fashion. Good morning, Douglas Kerr. Happy holiday to you. So what's going on is I am going to be rocking with a live band this evening at Untitled, and Untitled's location is, I think it's 111 West Kinsey. And I will verify that information really quickly. Hopefully you had a good week. Good morning, Terrence Stevenson. Happy holidays to you guys. Hopefully you had a wonderful Christmas and you were spending it accordingly with your family. Okay, so this is what's happening tonight. Untitled Supper Club. The address is 111 West Kinsey, and that is in, I think that area is called River North, if I'm not mistaken. I'm rocking with a band called The Kickback. It is a group of musicians, talented, very talented musicians, spearheaded by Cliff Wallace. And we are going to be playing or extending A Tribe Called Quest originals with live instrumentation and samples and break beats. It's very cool. It's interesting because it's kind of the direction it's kind of the direction that I've been trying to get back to. And thank you so much, Douglas, for mentioning that, because we're going to have this conversation. It's not going to be long because I don't have that kind of time, even though I'm sitting here trying to twist my hair so I look somewhat presentable because I have been on a bit of hiatus. Yes, it is a great opportunity, and we're going to have a conversation about where I am in my life right now. And I hate it, but we're going to talk about it because I'm a real chick doing real chick things, and I'm continuing to do those things, even with some adversities that I'm currently facing. So yeah, what I'm coming to terms with is the fact that I can live in a community with my people, but I cannot eat off of my people. I can't. And that's a very painful thing, because when I seek to eat off of my people, I have to undercut myself value-wise, settle for subpar sound systems, subpar representation in terms of branding and marketing via venues, as well as subpar support. This is not to suggest that everything that glitters is gold when you go out of your community and venture to areas that are not majorly ours. What I will say is that we, and I'm not trying to preach because I don't have the energy to do that anymore. Not in the capacity that I've done it before. I don't, because I have to swim and nobody is saving me when I'm sinking. I can't say nobody, because Cliff Wallace and I have been trying to do this kind of live drumming and DJ kind of thing for the last several months, unfortunately. And this opportunity just landed, and he was like, yo, you want to rock with us? And I'm like, yeah. So we're doing it. Yeah, Douglas. Unfortunately, we are still in that space of not understanding our value and our worth enough individually, and not having people around us to support that value and worth enough. We don't have, in my communities that on the south side of Chicago, we can point to the area that's doing something, which is Hyde Park. But Hyde Park is kind of self-contained. They're going to almost build on top of Hyde Park. The spread of Hyde Park is not going to happen in a manner that says that we're going to have an economic flourishing that creates businesses, that creates liquor licenses, that creates the type of financial flourishings that we need to be able to eat in our communities. We are talking about the bigger idea of gentrification and businesses. We have the capital, and there's a lot of bureaucratic bullshit that has to happen in order for us to gain businesses in our community. And it's not to say that we can't gain those businesses, but once we gain those businesses, we are not supporting each other enough. It is easier, and this is a mentality. I have a mentality. I was raised in this music DJ game in Wicker Park. That's where I first started working. Now, the first gig that I had in Wicker Park was at a very small club. It wasn't fabulous. I remember the mixer. It was not the best mixer in the world. The owners were gifted a club called Buddha Bar. It wasn't Funky Buddha Lounge. It was Buddha Bar. They were gifted it by their very successful parents. They took that club as a gift, and it was supposed to be their little network of friends, rich white friends, who were going to kick it in that club. It was a pool table, a phone booth, honey. That's how real it was. A phone booth and a pool table and a old school bar that you would have in your home for liquor, not a DJ booth, an old school bar that they put the DJ equipment on. But they were given that opportunity. People started rolling through, and shortly after, it popped. That area was not doing the best, but what that area had and maintains is a group of people who continue to drink, and they invest in drinking because it is of their culture. They are not black. So when you think about the idea of these venues that we seek to perform and play in and get our rates, you have to think about the area that those communities are in and who is supporting them. We don't have those things in my community as it stands. The places and venues that we do have in our community are doing the opposite. They're not, this is my opinion, and I worked at one that might be considered more prominent than the others. We're more interested, we might start off on the foot of doing cool stuff, but we're more interested in grabbing capital than we are slowly branding and marketing things that will register for the newer and different people who are coming into that community. I can speak specifically because I don't work with them anymore. Bronzeville has as a home ownership, their home ownership is reaching mortgages and properties that range closer to $1 million. Unfortunately, we did not market to those people properly. We did not have we didn't. I don't work there anymore. They don't have the right idea. So what's happening is they're sinking and they're grabbing whomever they can grab to come and do events in that space. And unfortunately, it is not going to be diverse. And some of the people who live in that community are already against them. So having said all of that, which is more than I'm supposed to be talking about, I'm supposed to be talking about the kickback tonight and the tribe vibe that we're going to be creating. But I need you to know that I am going on tour, to put it cute and marketable. I'm going on tour next month in January. I will be playing at the Booze Box. I am reconnecting with who I was as a DJ when I first started in this great city. I played a plethora of sounds. I love dance music. I love house music. I will hold fast to that. But our community of people, just like our community of house people, have allowed commerce to manipulate us in a way that does not allow us the freedom to be able to play what we want to play and does not allow us to maximize the potential of our concepts. You can get a venue and you can pack that venue, and when those numbers of the people who are packing that venue are driving your artistic ability, then you're going to end up playing the same songs over and over. And if you know anything about me, you know that I'm capable of doing that if I'm paid what I need to be paid as a DJ for hire. But as a tastemaker, which most of the venues that I worked at when I was on the North Side were, I was paid to create a vibe that was eclectic and freeing and dope. So when you come to the South Side with the free, eclectic, artsy vibe, you get met with, don't nobody know that music. Oh, that's different. We want to hear our same 40 songs. And top 40 does not just fall into a pop hip hop category. We have a top 40s of house. We have a top 40s of R&B. We got top 40s of acid jazz. We got a top 40s of funk and soul. It's all kind of top 40s that bind you creatively. And like I said, as a DJ for hire, if you are paying me for a wedding or for a private opportunity or a corporate opportunity, you most certainly can tell me exactly what you want to hear. But in these venues where there are no covers, in these venues where people are supposed to be drinking and vibing and what I think is allowing a DJ to navigate that journey, we are doing the exact opposite. I love my people, but somehow we have gotten so it's like underprivileged privilege. I'm sure there is a term. Yes. Just like hip hop, what makes house any different than hip hop? If you want to hear what we were listening to in the car on the way there. Not only do you want to hear what you're listening to in the car on the way there, but you aren't paying enough for me to be loyal to you. You're not paying anything. Some folks don't drink at all when they come into these venues. Some folks they drink in the car with that sound system that they're listening to those tunes on. And with that kind of mentality, unfortunately, you will find tons of DJs who simply want to play to a large crowd of people. And I get it from a popularity standpoint, but if you're not getting your rate, and then you have to be concerned about your association with those venues and particular groups that says you're being niched. If you're being niched in that association, then the rest of, unfortunately, your opportunities are probably either going to do one or two things. Either they're going to be like the space that you're playing in, which is real, or you're not going to get any more. And for me, based on my association with both Tantrum and Renaissance, I was working consistently for 10 years at Tantrum and almost 2 years at Renaissance. I wasn't getting any more opportunities. And as the years went on, and I have to take some of the responsibility for that because as an artist and of course as a business person, you focus on what's feeding you, but I wasn't venturing outside of that comfort zone because I had other streams of income that allowed me not to focus. This is the hard part about being a DJ in a hobby mind state, because you're like, oh, well, it's paying, and then I got these other streams, so I ain't really got to be tripping too much. And I hear that from DJs, in quotations, all the time. Oh, well, it's extra money. It's extra money until it's not. And right now, it's not extra money for me. It is one of my main streams. But what I should have been doing while they weren't, and my lights are coming on now because I'm associated with Bureau Bar, and I've been seeing for the last 5 years a different level of business. And I saw the business for the South Loop as it pertains to Tantrum not growing. And I started talking about it 5 years ago, but I did not seek. And I was getting a few opportunities here and there on the north side, but I don't think I was I really believe in my heart of hearts to be able to maximize your possibilities in terms of location and real estate as a DJ. You need to live somewhere close to those communities, or drive to those communities and be there and hang out. You can't do that on Facebook, where you're hanging and you're meeting people and you're networking and you're maximizing, your relationships with those people. And unfortunately, I thought, just like any other venue that I worked for prior, that venue was going to draw the type of people and opportunities that could further my reach, because that's where I come from. Cinnabar led me, Buddha Lounge led me, the Dark Room led me, even Divine led me. Lava Lounge led me to get further opportunities in that area when it was being gentrified. We were the face of gentrification. But and that didn't happen in the South Loop, because the South Loop, and what needs to be said is, if you're only 3 to 5% of the population in that community, and you have a loyalty to that 5%, then the 95% others probably will stop patronizing that venue. This is real talk. They'll stop patronizing that venue, and then you'll be left with a group of people who may not be in the state of mind to do more than come in and drink one drink and tell you what you should be playing or guessing based on the type of people they look like. When you're in diverse communities with diverse economies and diverse patrons, then you can potentially maximize your profit margins. Look, this is my new talk. It's getting real. You can potentially maximize your profitability based on not having loyalty to the least of those numbers. We are the minority. Let's just put it bluntly. We are the minority in these communities where these venues are, and if you don't have connectivity to the majority of the people in those neighborhoods and in those communities, then you're gonna get shut down. And that's honestly, that's really where we are. So we are banking on us, and us, unfortunately, we are not pushing enough. That's just as a community. We're not pushing enough. I know better. I know better now completely. I've been given 3 opportunities in the last 2 weeks, maybe less than 2 weeks. So I'm going on tour. I will be playing tonight at Untitled with Kickback. And then on the 15th of January, I'm playing at Booze Box, which is in the West Loop. And then on the 18th, I'm playing at Maria's, which is in Pilsen. And then on the 20th, I am playing at Danny's. It's interesting because Danny's is a hole in the wall. But what happens at Danny's is you get a nice group of diverse people who appreciate vinyl and they appreciate the musical journey of a DJ. And I was asked to co-pilot with one of Wicker Park's legendary DJs, Sean Dervis. And my theory based on this is I can't get my rate here in the community with the people I love so much that create all of this cool music, but don't have the proper vigor to facilitate venues that are interested in culturing spaces for this music to live. And I have to go where those people are. And it hurts me because it's not what I see, because I know who created this music, and I also know who doesn't respect it. We don't respect it. We don't respect the music that we made. We don't respect the art that we make. We don't respect the businesses that we make until somebody else comes along and validates them. So in line with that, I have to go where people understand the language of music that I really love. I can't say that when I was in Wicker Park that I was working every day of the week. But what I can say is that I had several residencies that were coinciding weekly, and as well as some monthly possibilities. And the other thing that was real about it is, again, I lived in that community and I worked there because I worked at a salon. I worked at several salons that were in the Wicker Park, River North, Ukrainian Village area during that period that helped me garner the opportunities that I got. The place that you find that will allow a DJ to have their way and be able to give the full throttle journey of history of music that they love so much isn't out here on the South Side. And if it is, it's in a gallery. It's in some artist's place where white people are probably the majority of the patronizers. I hate it. It's not rambling. It's the truth. So again, tonight I'm at Untitled with Kickback Band, and we get stuck on the wrong stuff too. Tech versus vinyl. Which night are you playing versus where I'm playing? Yeah, it's a lot of things that we get stuck in, and it's a twofer because look at the idea that having a controller is convenient, it's cheaper, in the long game, it's cheaper because, of course, you can acquire MP3 files. However, if you pay for them or not, you can acquire them. And your controller might cost you, at this point, I think controllers are inexpensive, in my opinion, especially when you compare them to 1200s and a long history of vinyl collecting. It's not a cheap date being a collector, but what it does is it authenticates your realness. I say as a DJ, and I live this, and of course I've leaned on technology in the last 10 years. I've leaned on one particular style of technology for almost, about 10 years or maybe more, because I didn't just buy Serato 10 years ago, is the fact that you should be versed. You should be versatile in terms of the music you play. You should be versatile in terms of the medium that you play it on, and prepared if you're trying to get a bunch of different opportunities. Interestingly enough, and this is where that it's real. So when I got the opportunities that I'm currently speaking of, there were specifics. They gave me specifics. 3 of the 4 gave me specifics. They said, we prefer that you either bring vinyl or you play from Serato through to vinyl. We are not a controller driven venue, and we don't use CDJs. It speaks to so many things. A venue that will supply you with 1200s, and I pray that they work properly, because you can't control. That's part of the reason why I like controllers, and I take my controller normally where I go, because I'm pretty sure that it's going to work, and you don't know what kind of condition their equipment is going to be in, but the hope is that it's in decent enough condition that you can actually utilize it. But these people have invested money in 1200s. And they're looking for authentication. They're looking for difference. And there's a cutoff for that, because it's like, if you have a whole library of music that you can play from a controller, then you can easily have folks come up and ask you to play particular things. If you only got vinyl, then whatever vinyl you bought is probably where your journey is going to be. So you won't have people asking you to play 50 Cent or XXX Temptation or any of those folks, Jacquees, any of those people. You're not going to have, you might have people asking you to do that, but you can't, because you have vinyl. You can't, because, you're in a particular space where people are, where you're limited because you only have these records. You may not have those, and you can lie or whatever, but they're controlling the audio journey with 1200s. So we got stuck in 2 ways. We got stuck listening to our friends. You got stuck online playing to your little group of friends and having them thumb you up, and they're not supporting you in this real world. If you're a professional DJ, or if you're aspiring, you playing music that only a small percentage of people can relate to. You're playing in places where people don't have the imagination to allow the journey of coolness that you might be playing, and they ain't paying. I don't like any of these things. I don't like having my flaws exposed. I don't like having people make me feel bad about us. But some of the things that I'm mentioning, we have to take responsibility for. And I'm taking responsibility as well for my deficits as it pertains to what I should have been doing when the flag went up. The flag went up 5 years ago. But what I hold fast to, because I'm on a bit of a different journey at this point. What I hold fast to is the fact that I needed to learn some things. And that's the reason why I had to come home to the South Side, come home to my community. I needed to learn some things, and what I asked for at the top of this year was a deeper understanding of the business of nightlife and the business of venues outside of my speculation, and I have that. And I hate that it doesn't. It's not in our favor. It's not in our favor. Once white folks show up on King Drive all the way south to 75th Street, and they're here, then slowly their businesses will come here, and they will navigate the economy for this community, and everything will be super high, and we are going to be taxed out. That's the brunt of gentrification, or scrapping and scruffing and scratching to try to stay a part of the community. I have people who come to Bureau Bar and complain about the price of drinks. Well, look at the neighborhood we're in. Look at the community. How much do you think it costs to pay rent? How much do you think we have to charge for that cocktail? Like, these are all valid conversations. And again, having loyalty to us is a double-edged sword as it pertains to our businesses. That doesn't make these people who seek to do business with the natural draw of that community sellouts. You have to create your marketing based on what that community has naturally. If you are the majority in that community, then I'm going, well, these people in this community have $1.5 million homes and condos and things of that nature. So these are the people who I know can come in here and drink, and we need to fashion our businesses around those people. I've worked in the hair industry in higher end areas, and we do get higher end African American clients, but the issue with that is white folks don't want to get their hair done with us. White folks don't want to drink in places where black people are the majority. So it's a very painful thing for African Americans who are trying to do better business and garner better opportunities to keep it real in the realest sense when our communities and our economic footprint. And I can't say that we don't have capital. I see capital marching up and down the internet every day, all fucking day long. I see capital marching up and down our internet that we own, but we aren't putting it in places and making enough impact and collectivizing enough to be able to hold on to things. And, you know, there's a culture of non-black people that drink, and it's a part of their culture, their ethnicities. Europeans, Russians, Irish people, they drink, and they drink daily. So look at the idea that you're seeking to appease a group of people who on any given day will only show up on Saturdays or Sundays to drink. And these people have these space. That's the reason why liquor licenses are in abundance in those communities, because they can justify it. And that's not the whole story, of course, because there's a lot of money to be made in having a liquor license. And of course, African Americans struggle with getting those licenses. That's a whole different story. But we're talking about a natural understanding of the economy and how it works for particular individuals, and why those individuals in those communities get things that we don't get. So yeah, long story short, I ain't playing no music for y'all today because I got to get myself together. My bandmates are not the most organized, but we are going to rock this little situation this evening. There's dinner being served. It's a supper club, and these cool art loving white people are going to be hanging out with us, and they're going to listen to this cool tribe music and these breaks and me dropping some acapellas while the band plays renditions of A Tribe Called Quest. Thank you, sir. Have a good day at work. And come through if you're in Chicago. If you're not in Chicago, then, of course, once again, I am at Bureau Bar every Sunday night. And I am on tour. And if you search the hashtag of Find a Fathom DJ, you most certainly can. I think you can still, because I'm changing my hashtag for January. I'm not changing them. I am. I'm not going to stop using Find a Fathom DJ, but I'm going to be changing my theme for January. And I've already kind of started, but you won't see it until I start walking it up and down the internet for real. So anyway, I'm going, initially I thought about it. What I'm going to do is, because I'm sure I won't see Douglas Kerr tonight, and I know I probably won't see Terrence because I don't ever see Terrence in the real world. But I will, I'm not sure when I'm going to be back here, but because I haven't spent any time with my mother for the holiday, so I'm going to probably be over her house, and it's not that DJ friendly. But I will convey some of the tunes that I play from my set during our next session. Save edited image, yes. I will convey some of the energy of the break beats and the cool ass music that I'm just rediscovering a bunch of cool ass music as it speaks. So 37 minutes, I think that's enough of me rambling. So I'm gonna get out of here so I can start I've pretty much got my set together. I want to run through it and, kind of tweak and tighten things up for this evening. And, get my life together for this opportunity, and hope that some more of these types of opportunities come about and create what I think will be my reinvention. So anyway, that's what's up with me on December 28th. A good time. We'll be headed to TrackSource and iTunes and Google Play and Amazon and Beatport and Spotify and YouTube and all of those places. And I will be taking it down from Bandcamp. I am going to have to devise a plan in hopes that I can come up with some ways to be able to finish my EP for this coming year and get that on the market, or at least singles, which is not what I really want. So I'm either what's going to happen is, if I don't come up with the budget to be able to properly mix and master those tunes that I've been working on for this year, then they just gonna have to sit, because I'm not going to sacrifice the quality and energy of what I'm putting out just to have it out. It's gotta do some bigger things. So if they have to incubate until I can get them to where they need to be quality wise and get all the ducks lined up, then that's what I'm gonna do. So these are my lessons. 2018 was a painfully, I guess, necessary lesson for Fathom DJ. So that's why I ain't got too much to say on Facebook, because I'm planting other seeds and in places where I think they're important. If you'd like to have more people be exposed to what you do who don't know you, then you got to get your ass off of Facebook and start to create a strategy for yourself that includes Instagram and a really specific type of hashtagging. And be strategic about what you post so people can see the best representation of what you want to project in your social media, so that you can get the type of opportunities that are going to add quality to your brand. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But we're gonna have more conversations at some point. I know. I just don't know when, because I don't have, like I have to take care of myself, and I've been looking out for our community, and unfortunately our community is not feeding me, so I have to do what I have to do. Anyway, cosmic kisses and well wishes to your day and your week. I'm your girl Fathom DJ. You can find me in your worldwide webosphere at findingfathomdj.com and hashtag findingfathomdj, as well as Fathom DJ, and TrackSource, iTunes, Google Play, Beatport, Amazon, Instagram, LinkedIn, my Facebook fan page is a little more active, even though it's not my original content. The hope is that you just don't limit your viewing of that content to the shares that I'm sharing on that page, and you get to look around, because I'm not really going to be as active on my personal page. It's a bit of a distraction, and I can't afford that right now. Not to say that I won't post, but I'm definitely not going to be streaming and going live and sitting around, hanging around, and trying to convince people who are hell-bent on being unsupportive to support me. Space.